Welcome. I'm Susan Young, Mindful Coaching, and we're here today to practice together a meditation based on Susan David's work on emotional agility. So, first, I'm going to invite you to settle your body. Spend a moment or so really allowing your body to settle into stillness. Do a kind of fidget for a second or two and jiggle yourself down. Feet flat on the floor if you can. If the body's too uncomfortable, then lie down. Do what you can to stay awake, stay aware, and get your body comfortable. Hands can be on the thighs, palms up or down, or in your lap. Closing the eyes, dropping into the body. A little bit more. Beginning to deepen the breathing. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. And feel the belly, the ribs, and the lungs expand. Imagine the oxygen that you're breathing in radiating to every corner of the body. And now softening the body. Imagining the top of your head just becoming soft, your brain relaxing, your whole face and jaws, your tongue heavy. Let the shoulders drop, keeping the spine long, which allows you to stay engaged, while at the same time the arms become heavy. Feel the palms and the fingers and the top of the hands become even more relaxed. Feel the whole torso, the bum and the legs and the feet. And while staying alert and aware, allow the body to come into complete relaxation as best you can. The breathing is full and deep. Become more aware, letting the breathing and the body fade a little bit into the background. Become more aware of the thoughts and emotions that are present right now. Stay tuned to becoming aware of the thoughts and feelings and not diving into the thoughts and feelings. So, allowing the thoughts, which might include stories, which might include particular preferences, to just drift by your awareness. Beginning to unhook yourself consciously. When there's a thought or an emotion that feels strong, that tugs at your attention, you recognize this as part of your patterns, but don't dive in the water. Don't dive into the thought. Let the thought just drift by. Bring forward something in your consciousness that you really feel pleasant about. It might be something like something you did with friends or your partner on the weekend, or a pleasant walk you took, something that's pleasant for you. Conversation with a friend, a meal that you enjoyed. Just find something pleasant in your memory and let yourself revel a little in that. Bring a slight smile to your face, to your lips. Remember the feeling that came along with the pleasant event. And let that feeling expand throughout your whole body. Something pleasant. Continuing to stay unhooked from the pleasant event, from the pleasant thoughts or emotions around the event. Letting it be there in your awareness, but not diving into it, just being conscious and aware. And now letting that conscious, pleasant event and the thoughts and feelings that went with it, just imagine them drifting out of your range of awareness like a cloud out of your sight. Just let it drift by. And now choose something neutral. Choose something that you kind of, an event that you had, maybe preparing a meal, or perhaps there's something in your office that's a plain white wall, or in your home, or maybe a roadway when you were driving, just something, an event, an external thing that you feel neutral about, that doesn't stir you in any way. It's like, one needs to do the dishes. If you don't hate doing dishes, you can use that as an example. Perhaps you were sweeping and just felt neutral about it. Just allow the feeling and thoughts around neutral to radiate throughout your body. A reminder to stay unhooked. Recognizing your patterns, perhaps the neutral event shifted to something else, so coming back. And then finally, we're going to choose something mildly unpleasant. Maybe an irritating noise of something, a neighbor mowing a grass when you're sitting outside reading a book. Maybe one of your relatives talked too long at the last gathering and you felt slightly unpleasant about it. Maybe there's something that keeps coming up that you're procrastinating about that has to be done. And it's a slightly unpleasant feeling, mildly unpleasant feeling. And just allow that to radiate throughout your body. You might notice a sense of tension or tightness, perhaps. And expand your awareness to include a sense of peace with the mild unpleasantness. Maybe that's the discomfort that is the price of admission to a meaningful life, to be able to tolerate with acceptance things that are unpleasant. Notice if you have any resistance to that in your body. Notice if there's any thoughts. I only want pleasant things. Life has pleasant, neutral, and unpleasant things. That's the nature of being human. That's reality as it is. So as we move forward more consistently to accept the truth of being human, which is our lives end, there are pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral things in our lives. And we learn how to de-hook from a judgment of those. We learn how to be present more often to what's occurring in this moment, accepting whatever thoughts and feelings and body sensations emerge. So now we're going to shift to picking up awareness, to staying with awareness over the next moments in silence, staying as unhooked as possible. And sometimes it helps to label if that feels like it works for you. So, for example, you might notice a thought, you might be in the thought, and if you name it thought or thinking, sometimes that helps de-hook us from the thought, the feeling, or the body sensation. Continuing to return back to the field of awareness. Emotionally agile, accepting all that emerges in your conscious awareness. Pleasant, neutral, or unpleasant. Noticing if there's agitation or boredom, perhaps, irritation, or maybe you're perfectly at ease. Whatever your state, acceptance. You don't need to change. You don't need to be different. You don't need to be better. You don't need to be more advanced. You don't need to be more mindful. None of that. None of that. Acceptance of this being right here, exactly as you are. Nothing needs to change. A deep acceptance of whatever is happening in your field of awareness, whether you're diving in or getting hooked, whether you're holding steady in the field of awareness. Acceptance. And as we come into the last few moments, the invitation is to come back to the center of your being. If it feels right, put a hand on your belly and a hand on your heart, and just press slightly with some warmth. Keep the breathing deep and slow. And welcome whatever your experience has been over the last moments of conscious, mindful practice. I welcome and recognize my patterns of this being. And if I had a mere second or moments, perhaps, of conscious steadiness, of staying in awareness, all is well. Really let yourself feel that acceptance of yourself in this moment. Nothing needs to change, exactly as you are. And as best you can, allow that to radiate throughout your body and your mind. I'm okay exactly as I am. Nothing needs to change. And if it feels right to you, allow a sense of kind of freedom and maybe happiness to come out of that. Just as I am, nothing needs to change. And Before you release your hands, press a little bit more. Feel the warmth in your heart and in your belly. And then release your hands. Feel in the center of your belly your here-ness, your presence. Letting the whole body soften once more while staying anchored into the center of yourself. A deep acceptance. And taking one or two more breaths. Opening your eyes. Wiggling your fingers, maybe rolling your shoulders.